movie review from MBE. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us here on our YouTube channel and of course our Twitch stream. I'm one of your co-hosts, Stephen John McLaughlin. Our co-host is John C. Walsh. John Christopher Walsh, that is. And we're here
John
with his Patriots top on. I just noticed you were wearing the Patriots
I put that on, because I'm constantly wearing the same hoodie. Every
I can't
video.
talk.
People think I'm a fucking gashball.
Do you know,
Stephen, yours looks good.
The difference is though, John, there is a reason for that. It's to do with continuity. When we're doing watch-alongs tonight, I've not got an excuse.
And to be fair, Stephen, you're just putting it on because it's a lovely little lightweight zipper. It's starting to get proper spring now.
Yeah, it is.
It's finally took its time, but we've got dry.
I'm also in shorts.
Lovely days now.
For the first time this year, I'm in shorts.
I've had shorts on. Just not outside yet, but the weather's good.
Yeah, because I always wondered, guys like that do actual proper movie reviews, like Chris Stuckman, they always wear the same clothes. There's a reason for that.
It's easy,
and John Compare as well for his thumbnails as well, and it does make sense. It makes life a lot easier.
It does. It really does.
Particularly with this film, John, because we wore the same sort of gear, and everyone who watched that wouldn't know. It was separate days.
Yes, it was.
I'm just going to
2 separate days.
As a little Easter egg.
I painstakingly recreated the shot, the chair positions, the lighting,
everything,
the stubble.
Yeah, to stick some on.
No, I didn't do that. Thankfully, but Steve, we'd love to sit and watch films in one sitting, but we've just not got time for it because we've got jobs. You've got kids.
Particularly with Indian cinema, John, and it's not a criticism. I love films that are over 2.5 hours long, if they're good films and they're done right. And particularly with this one, Leo, it was.
Well, this was fantastic.
John, at the tail end of our sort of summary in part 3, I did say that I enjoyed this a little bit more than Master.
Yeah.
For different reasons. But we'll get into that. So that's what we're doing. Hopefully you've all enjoyed our watch along. And I hope you like the way that it's getting edited now into 3 parts rather than 6 parts. And thoroughly enjoyable film.
Stephen, the editing is far better for me as well because it's pushing me to actually be clinical in my editing process. Whereas before I was lazy, it was 4 or 5 parts, 5, 6 parts. I was putting the whole film up. It was getting bought.
I don't know if that's lazy though, John, because
I'm trying my best to get as much in as possible. But at the end of the day, as you have rightly said, and I've said myself before, the film has been seen and enjoyed by people already. They're then coming to watch the best bits, if you'd like.
I'm glad that you left that bit in about me overthinking.
Yeah, I did. I deliberately left it in because I was laughing my head off. Because you know what I didn't leave in though? Me saying and I agree, cut it so you
so it was like me doing a rant, But it was like the rant from Quota Factory for a whole day. I'll never forget that. That's so funny. But Joseph Vijay, John, we've seen.
What a guy.
You said close to
chocolate coffee.
Close to a dozen films of this man. And
love Joseph. He's a fantastic human being. Not just a fantastic thespian, actor, whatever you want to call him, but a real sort of politically awakened individual. Now he's in politics. And connected with the little man and women and child of India and the world, if you like.
About Napoleon.
Yes, Napoleon, Well, he's connected with him too in this film. But he's a very, very inspirational, charismatic guy, a leader of men. And he's championing the right things. And we've seen this time and time again with Thalapathy over his career. We've went back and watched love, romantic movies. We've watched action-based movies. He consistently gets societal problems into his movies. He shines a light on them and he tries to bring attention and maybe right some wrongs, be it the treatment of women, the sort of political corruption, treatment of farmers, just everything. The guy is absolutely switched on. He's a fantastic human being. And it's brilliant to see him doing this right in his late 40s. This was a fantastic watch, Stephen. And we'll get into his performance. For me, I've seen, as you said, about a dozen of his films. I genuinely think this is one of his best acting performances. Some of the moments in this, sort of monologues and performances are fantastic. But just the physical acting of portraying 2 different versions of himself.
I think
we've seen that before with Thalapathy. He is a master at it.
You also mentioned, John, in terms of cast, this is probably the first time he's had a very strong cast, in our opinion, that is.
Outside the master.
Well, this was the thing I wanted to clear up, John, when I said I probably enjoyed this more than Master, because when I said a Thalapathy Vijay film, Thalapathy Vijay, I need to get out of the habit. It's because when I think a Master, I think it's a half film. It's a half Vijay Sethupathi
and
half Joseph Vijay movie. It is for me, this is a Joseph Vijay movie for me. You've got Sanjay Dutt in there, and once again, this guy doesn't have a lot of screen time.
No, but once again, Stephen Arjun's Archer as well. Yeah, as Harold Das was a big presence, certainly late on in the movie.
Was he the uncle?
He was the uncle, Uncle Harold, yes. And obviously Trisha's in there.
Yeah.
I had concerns about Trisha going into this movie because I've seen the way they've utilised some brilliant female actresses over the years. In some of these movies, they become shoehorned into a romantic tangent.
Or they're just the wife.
Yeah, they're just the wife. They don't serve any real purpose.
She was the wife in this, but John, very early on I was getting concerned for Trisha, though. I was thinking, oh no, they've done it. They've went and done it again. They're not handling this actor properly in this film.
But there was one scene where it was
changed,
justified.
It just totally changed, John. She was the emotional linchpin, if you like. The one, the rock, I feel like that's a good description. The rock within the family and everything going around, because at that point we didn't obviously know Leo's plan. We didn't, because we were making our own sort of assumptions and stuff like that. But
I think we knew he was Leo. The entire movie. Yeah, there was never any doubt. I thought
Thalapathy Vijay, you said it, John, his acting when he was portraying this sort of troubled. What's his other name again?
Thalapathy.
Leo /
Patiban, was it?
Patiban, yeah.
Was it?
Patiban, yeah, I think it was.
You've got me doubting myself now. I'm going to click on it.
Patiban, yeah, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Patiban.
When he was portraying him as a guy that wasn't sleeping, that was paranoid, I thought his acting was superb in those scenes. So from that point of view, I think the supporting cast and obviously the main actor in this film was perfect. Sanjay Dutt, again, not in the film
again,
a lot.
I absolutely love Sanjay Dutt. I've seen him in 3 movies now.
Unbelievable, John. We've not
need
seen
to watch
a lot
more of him.
Because
he is a fantastic actor. I can't imagine he's that tall in terms of physicality.
Yeah.
Sort of, I don't see him as being a 6'4", 6'5" presence, but he sort of exudes the energy of someone who's 6'4" or 6'5". When he's on the screen, he just commands the eyes. He is there, and he packs a punch every time. We've seen it in Triple R. It's fucking not Triple R. Rocking Star Yash, KGF Chapter 2. Had to say his name there to remember what the film was. We've seen him in KGF Chapter 2. It takes a big personality to come in and take the limelight away from Rocking Star Yash.
Yeah.
That guy in his suits and his acting, larger than life persona, he steals the show. But Sanjay Dutt came in that movie and fucking saved that movie for me. And
KGF Chapter 2,
yeah. With his villainous turn, he saved the movie. Because the movie was just chugging along.
It was, and
it was getting concerning.
Yeah.
The way that they had Rocky sitting on the throne, just lording it over people. He had to be slapped down, and Sanjay Dutt delivered that slap.
Yeah, he did.
So what I'm saying is Sanjay is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And what a presence he is in this movie. And some of the choreography, this guy can't be that young anymore. I don't know his exact age. I think he's probably 70 odds, 60 odds.
He had some health issues a couple of years ago as well, John.
You
maybe
think
last
of
year.
some of the sequences he's involved in this movie. And
I get there'll
really
be body
remarkable.
doubles for certain things, hey Dougie. But I think...
what the fuck's that about?
I'll blame Lottie for that. I think
64. Same age as my mum and dad.
Yeah.
And he's acting like that alongside a much younger man in Thalapathy. So...
John, I know we'll get into that as well. We'll get into obviously Thalapathy Vijay's performance in this film, and I know we'll get into the personas, the two personas.
Someone done a brilliant comment.
Yeah, the running.
Because we spoke about the running.
I thought it was
we were reacting.
Yeah. But
when he was older.
It was on purpose. Yeah.
He looked weird, and I'm like, I'm not having that. That's not the way he runs. He's fitter than me. What's going on? It was deliberate.
Yeah.
He changed his running style as he got older.
Fighting style as well. Yeah.
Because he was obviously an older man, and he can't move. He's not as sort of fluid.
John, it was funny because we've not watched Thalapathy Vijay in probably in about 2 years. I would say 2.5, 3 years. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And you know how when it showed you his eyes in the mirror in the car, I just lit up at that. I went, oh, we're back.
Put me back to Master.
Yeah, we're back. And I missed him. Yeah.
And he's lying in the car with the sort of earbuds in.
Because in between Master and Leo, there's been 2 films we've not watched.
Yeah, Vadasu and Beast.
Beast, yeah. And I think perhaps maybe we'll have to go back and look at them. I think we will have to. because I have missed this guy. And I knew that the minute I saw his eyes on screen, I thought, oh, we're back. We're back to what we know and what we love, you know.
It's the dancing as well.
Yeah.
We couldn't put it in, most of it, but he's just fucking unreal at dancing. He's an all-round performer.
Yeah.
He's just fantastic. The dance sequences with his twin, incidentally, what's her name? I'm trying to find her name. Don't see it there, but it may have been Priya Anand. It can't be though, because that's not the right name.
I can't remember. It's not. I can't remember her name.
But the fantastic dance sequences. Stephen, good morning. Well, it's good night here, but good morning anyway to you. Hope you're having a good morning. YT those. Yuki, I'm trying to read this. You must have bear with me. I'm borderline 90-year-old guy with my eyes.
I'll try and bring up on the
Yuki
old...
Matsui.
Yeah.
What a name, incidentally.
Yeah,
Supramani.
cool, yeah.
I think that's a good place to start, Stephen. Supramani, the hyena. This movie is utterly...
Yeah.
I knew right away. It was maybe like a second.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, my fucking God, it's a hyena. They've brought the hyena into the house. That was a great moment. But this movie's utterly frenetic. From start to finish, it doesn't really slow down that long. I mean, there's moments of respite where he's having interactions with his family, whatnot, but in the main, it's a 150 mile an hour fucking action bonanza from start to finish. And we start off with a bang, Stephen, with the hyena.
Yeah.
Loose in the town. Some incredible drone shots, brilliant CG. Some of it's a little dodgy, but in the main, we know how difficult it is to accurately portray an animal in CG.
Yeah.
Anything in CG and make it believable to the human eye, but an animal in particular with the movements. And
John, we've seen a
whatnot.
lot. We've seen a lot of Indian trailers that we've reacted to, and some of them do involve animals, CG animals, and some of them have been really bad. Along with Leo, I felt the other one that did it very well was Triple R. I thought that was an incredible scene.
Yeah.
And I think that CG is just getting better and better all the time. And I thought in this, it didn't really take me out of the picture at times. I understood that this can't be real. It can't be real, you know.
There were some things we thought
the drone
may not be.
The drone,
but they actually were.
Yeah, the drone shot, what I thought was incredible was...
There was some aesthetical choices in this movie, just uses of maybe filters and whatnot that gave a sort of other real weird look to the shot. And we've got a comment. Yeah,
Ruth.
Yes,
hello, Ruth.
Welcome in, Ruth. I was nodding while you were speaking because she's absolutely bang on. He's always had a cheeky charm that never goes away. He just has amazing screen presence. He really does. He dominates the screen. And we spoke about that. You had concerns about Trisha and the use of her character the first hour or so, 40 minutes of this movie. And I did say during the reaction, Stephen, there's a dog barking outside. Hopefully
Maybe
my
a hyena.
dog doesn't respond because he is incredibly loud when he hears other dogs. He's quiet just now, but I did respond. It's a Joseph Vijay movie.
Yeah.
And it's very hard when this guy's leading a movie to do anything else other than focus on him, because it's all about him. He's a massive personality.
That's one of the reasons I don't really want to see this guy doing a cameo in another film. I know there was an SRK.
I was disappointed. I
know you
expect him to turn up in Jawan.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd read that.
At one point you thought you did.
Yeah, when the actual...
In terms of cameos, unless it's leading somewhere, like to a greater sort of role, if you like. But I don't want him appearing in a film and just sort of winking at the camera and then we don't see him again. He's too good for that. And as Ruth alluded to there, I think, you know, he has got a charm about him. It doesn't matter what the genre is, whether it's an action or romantic or comedy. He's just got this presence about him, you know, just a very smooth guy, you know. And
everything about him.
Yeah, it's just
the clothes he was wearing in the car. He was just dapper. Everything about the guy. The hair. I don't know if that was a wig. But yeah,
I liked his hair. I thought
fucking hair was incredible. I don't think it was a wig. I think they cut it and done something for the younger version. He has said thoughts on the background score. I mean, Anirudh Ravichandra. What can we say about that guy?
Right.
Seen it. I've heard a lot of his work now over the last 5 years or so, 3, 4, however long we've been covering Indian cinema.
Yeah,
Anirudh is a maestro. I want to see that guy. Not that I'm saying he has to, but I want to see that guy coming over and doing work in major Western movies because he's just got the touch. He knows it's an art to be able to score a movie and to be able to get the balance right so it's not overpowering the stuff we're seeing visually, but it's adding something to it. Some of the songs, some of the lines, I'm not going to lie, I thought were a little cheesy, but they just worked. and they were catchy as hell. The score's absolutely sublime in this movie. I thought it was brilliant. Really,
John, there's something
it.
about his scores. He's always got a theme, like all the great composers do. They always have a theme, but you know they've got that trademark within their music, within their sound, and you know that's an Anirudh, that's a John Williams. You know, you just know, but they've always got a theme. Like you could probably make a compilation up of his best scores, and you'd be able to pick out which film it's from because they're that memorable.
Yeah.
And once again, I think they did it well in this. John, we watched the watch along. I think we did it in 2 parts, although it was obviously split into 3. Both times I left here, the soundtrack was the score was in my head.
Sean Chandler, who reviews movies on YouTube's got a big channel, reviewed this and says, watching the film, he thought some of the musical numbers were a little bit cheesy, but then he couldn't get them out his fucking head. And he was listening to the soundtrack and the score afterwards, and that's my takeaway from
like
it as well.
John, I wish we were doing watch-alongs when we were doing the Thalapathy Vijay films, back 2-3 years ago, because it would have been really interesting to get the community involved in that. But we still did reviews. Ruth was part of that, guys. We thoroughly enjoyed. Ruth directed us and
fucking introduced us and took us on a journey of exploring.
Because I think at that point we'd only done Master.
Started with Master.
Yeah.
Went back and watched the likes of I want to say Tupaki.
Yeah.
Mercil.
Yeah.
God, what was the other one?
Kaifi,
but there was another one. We were actually speaking about it early 2000s, sort of. It was his kind of tweener movie between romance and getting into action.
Yeah.
Feed Him Alive.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one we said the other day. Yeah.
Also the romantic one we watched. We've seen a ton of his movies, and he's just a fucking incredible actor. But you're right, Stephen, it would have been good. Sarkar was the one I wasn't. He was great in it, but the movie itself I thought was a bit poor.
What was the one with the bus bomb one? That was
Tupaki. Yeah, because it was the martial artist guy from up north.
Back in the day, yeah.
The film was great. I loved the score in that. I fucking loved the score in that. That was really good. He's just a brilliant actor. I really enjoy him. I've had moments where I've questioned him at times. I'm like, what is he doing there? But then he always redeems himself. The score in a romantic feel-good movies, and let's see this. His score in romantic feel-good movies is underrated. Listen to, I'm not going to be able to say that, Tiruchitrambalam. Remo OST.
Original soundtrack,
yeah. I mean, he's fucking great. And he's about a year younger than me. The guy is a joke.
Kamal Hassan did Agent Vikram voice.
Did he? Yeah, because that was at the end. Yeah, we didn't get that because we've not seen Vikram.
This is the point, John. We have to address this because we've had a lot of comments in terms of
anywhere. We tried to
Kaifi and Vikram. Now, in terms of Kaifi, we did review that. I can't remember. It was 3 years ago. Ruth will probably be able to.
I like Kaifi.
Remind us.
Kaifi was very good.
Was Ruth involved in that review? I can't remember.
I'm not
know. Sure. Can't remember. Ruth would be able
but I remember it because it was Kaifi, the actor. I think he was getting out of prison. His daughter gets kidnapped or something's going on, and he has to save her. He's driving the truck. I remember him. I think police get poisoned by the pool or something, and he was getting into the biryani. I remember it well. It was a very good movie, stylistically very good. Enjoyed it. We've done a lot of Lokesh movies. We couldn't get Vikram though. For some reason, it's just not available in the United Kingdom.
It's a strange one.
Someone suggested Hotstar, but I don't think we can get Hotstar.
We can't get Hotstar, but it's the English version, which doesn't have that content on it.
It's disappointing decision making from Disney.
I think so. I think it's
when Prime and Netflix are really leading the way with great Indian content and bringing it to Western eyeballs, and it's allowed us to
Netflix
watch.
is okay for Indian content, but I think Prime's probably the best one.
You think so, Stephen? I think we watched Sacred Games, and I was just recommending Sacred Games tonight. That was on Netflix.
In terms of web series, I think Prime's better. But I think in terms of film, I think, John, just in general, I think in terms of Vikram, and there's many films that we just can't access. There's one that I do want to see, and it's in SS Rajamouli, the comedy one with the bug.
Or something like that. Iga.
And I don't know where we would get that because it looks hilarious.
It does. It looks very good.
Our reaction to that was one of the best reactions, John, I've ever watched us do. And I don't normally watch back on us, but I think,
and visually for the time, very impressive movie.
Yeah.
So, but that's Rajamouli for you. The guy knows how to do visuals.
Oh, Roof wasn't in it, right? Yeah. So, perhaps maybe that was the two we watched then. That was probably the two we watched before Roof guided us on this great journey of Thalapathy Vijay films.
I
not just action
as
films.
well. And, speaking about playing double versions of characters, be it a younger or older or just a completely different person, a twin or a father, Mercel, I think that was the one he played 3 different characters. He played twins and a father. And then we get back and it's like this ceremonial, I don't know what it is, I'm not going to butcher it in case I offend anyone, but it was like powder on his face. Visually incredible. That shows you what the guy's capable of. So we came into this movie knowing that he could play multiple personas and do it very well, Stephen. But I think, as I did say, alluded to about 10 minutes ago, this is one of the best performances I've seen from Joseph Vijay. Just the physicality at nearly 50 years of age, doing all the stunts, some of the fucking fighting sequences you touched on in the last sort of part, some of the fighting was phenomenal in the film, the way it was choreographed. And I loved the explanation. We spoke about the wire work and them obviously running through the air. It was almost Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon level. I love that shit. I'm on board for that. Yeah. But the explanation from someone, and I'm usually on the ball with that kind of thing, but it eluded me and it disappoints me. It was getting told from a sort of fantastical standpoint from that guy who was on death row.
John, you're normally the first to actually make that point. When it's a perspective, you're normally saying that's
telling it as a greater than.
I think as well, it's one of the things that I think it's a very subtle cleverness to the film, is the narrative and the character's portrayal of 2 different personas. And talking about body language and running and stuff like that is one thing, but I think as well, it was almost like he was playing 2 different characters. It was, and I didn't mind the sort of. Is it a twist at the end? I don't think it really is. I think it's more, Leo's fooled us all, because we were doing all these sort of theories. We were like, has he lost his memory? Is this what's happened? They need to explain this. They didn't have to explain it at all, because it was just his plan.
He'd matured as well, Stephen. He had seen through the deviousness of his uncle and his father, their obsession about the business, willing to sacrifice. It was hinted by the twin sister potentially killed their mother, and this superstition sort of fueled obsession to make the business bigger and better, willing to sacrifice his own daughter, his own son. He'd seen through that. He'd seen through the sort of deviousness, the evil, and he'd wanted nothing to do with it. So he waited and bided his time until they came to him. But I think he genuinely matured, Leo, into the old age, and he wasn't about the violence. He said it. He's got a family, and that's what he lives to protect them now. He doesn't care about all that. So he's playing 2 variations, but almost like Batman. I don't think any one of them on their own lonesome, if you'd like, represent the actual true Leo party band. I think it's a combination of the 2.
They're all parts of him,
It's almost like a trio of different personalities in there, and somewhere in the middle is the real guy. He's not that wisecracking, murderous sort of gunslinger that is Leo, and he's not the fucking holier-than-thou pacifist animal saviour that is party band. He's something in between, and I thought the balance was fucking pretty well handled.
I think so.
By Joseph.
In terms of film location, John,
I loved that northern.
This was northern India.
I think it must have been, because it was
someone mentioned in the comments that I can't remember the location, but is this the first time we've seen a film with Thalapathy Vijay in that region?
I'm trying to remember if he did go up north.
I can't remember.
I want to say there was one with mountains near the end.
Yeah.
But he was potentially up north.
I might be wrong. I could be, John. It was just something that I was thinking about.
Sure.
And I think because we've not, 3 Idiots is the one that stands out because of obviously the scenery was absolutely stunning. It was almost like Scotland.
Yeah. Bit better.
Yeah, bigger as well.
Fucking right, yeah.
And cleaner. But I think just in terms of film location, I just thought it looked good as well in terms of aesthetics.
Stephen,
some of the backdrops were absolutely stunning in this film.
Technically, this movie's unbelievable. It's the best Lokesh kind of garage movie I've seen. Just the aesthetics, the colour palettes, the location choices, the visuals, the way they captured the quick pans, the zooms, zooming out, hand cam stuff going on, the way they captured the action, the drone shots, it was just fucking unbelievable. I said it time and again, this feels like something completely different for location. I've not seen Vikram. Maybe he did that in Vikram. He didn't do it in Master. No. And he didn't do it in Kaifi that I can recall of. It was almost like Edgar Wright level shit, the quick zooms and whatnot.
David Fincher as well.
Yeah, you called it at the start.
The window,
the camera,
I mean, that's easy. It's an easy thing to do nowadays, but I think back in the days of Panic Room, it was revolutionary. But I think in terms of technical aspects, John, the one that does stand out is the drone shot, where I think you were questioning whether some of it was maybe green screen or CG, but it didn't really matter in terms of the bigger picture. I think in terms of the angles of the shots and the continuous shot of that whole thing in the whole warehouse, and it's such an enclosed space as well that it would take someone with great skill to fly one of these drone cameras to get that perfection, because it's only one shot.
It's not even the shot, Stephen, it's the actors and the extras have to be on point. They have to know exactly what they're doing. It has to be timed to perfection. It's a one shot. And some of the best one shots I've ever seen have came from India.
I'd be interested to know how many times that they had to do a take of that though.
I reckon get one.
Yeah.
They've rehearsed it again and again and again and again. That's what they do with these one takes. There'll be a degree of sort of spontaneity and what would you call it? It's not ad-libbing, the other one. It means ad-libbing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the word. It's annoying. Degree of sort of flexibility in it. You're not going to be fucking absolutely on point like an Android. Some people will make a mistake and they'll just go with the flow. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Improvising. That's the word I'm looking for.
Improv.
But they have to be on point. The technical side, the visuals and all of that, but the actors as well and the extras, they all have to be on point, doing what they're doing to make that shot look organic. Yeah. And it fucking did. It looked incredible. Almost from the perspective of the eagle.
Yeah.
And
I think that was it, yeah.
Because we heard the eagle sort of, what the eagles do. Do they shriek? We should know because it's our national fucking bird.
Yeah, I think so.
The bald eagle or the golden eagle? It's a golden eagle.
Yeah, and there was some shots where it was flying past as well.
Yeah.
That looked a bit CG, to be fair.
The eagle did look a bit. There was some dodgy CG moments in there, but we'll give them a bye because budget, man. Even Hollywood can't get this shit right. Marvel movies, the CG is god awful now.
What I like about this
Marvel movies
film as well, John, which I think we should touch on, is obviously the is it the LCU this is called?
The LCU. Yeah.
I don't think you have to watch any of the other films to really enjoy this film. It's very much like the MCU, where it's standalone films that have subtle links to a bigger story. But in terms of this narrative, I don't think there was Easter eggs in there that obviously went over our head, and I know that a lot of people comment, but it didn't really ruin the experience for us, to be honest with you. I think you could watch this as a standalone film without watching Kaithi or Vikram, and probably the same with those two films as well.
But what that does, Stephen, in building a cinematic universe is gives you sort of depth to the characters. You've got more going on with maybe a standalone throwaway. I'm not a throwaway, but a lesser character like a Napoleon. He comes in. It could be played by anybody in a standard movie, and it's just a small part, and it's forgettable. But if he's been in a previous movie and he has depth, and the audience recognise him, then that just gives you an extra level of bonding, if you like, or just connection to that character. It just gives depth.
What did you think of the kids in the film, John? Because a lot of times I think
Little Dot was pretty good. Yeah, she was a character.
Yeah, quite feisty. And I thought the boy was good as well. I think there was a good bonding session between him and his father.
There was a good moment at the end with the son where he's getting held with the guy.
All right.
I mean, that was good as well. The back and forth with him and obviously Partiban was good. But when he stabs the guy and then also Leo does the bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
That was good. That was a good bit of teamwork. Makes the dream work, if you like. I mean, the kids were fine, Stephen. Again, these are sort of side characters. We're not really focusing on the daughter or the son. It's all about fucking Leo Das or Partiban, whatever you want to call him, and Anthony or Anthony Das. They're the sort of main players in this, with Harold being another, and the wife to a degree. Yeah. But it's all about Joseph Vijay, and that's what we've came to see, and that's what we get. But the other good, I thought the casting choice was pretty bang on.
I know how sometimes you get kids in it and they're just there to be there. I thought they actually served a purpose in this film.
I find it interesting though, that's almost a spoiler, Agent Vikram. Because when I watched the trailer for Vikram, the very first promotional shot, when they were sitting at the table, ready to eat, and the axes and whatnot are under the table, he was like a gangster.
Yeah.
So if it's Agent, that tells me he's undercover. He's maybe a cop. So that's slightly disappointing if he is. Need to watch Vikram. I love to look at that.
If we can get a hold of that would be the next film,
Vijay Thalapathy's a villain. Someone said it's on YouTube. I don't know how legal that is, though.
We'll make it legal,
We can't.
In the words of...
we'll learn a lesson that we couldn't get a second season of a certain TV show. And before, we'll just watch it through that and put it up. Nope.
No, not
if it's not above board, then you're going to get done. So we can't risk it.
We nearly lost the channel last year because of that, John, and I don't think... a lot of people have been asking for season 2 of... Panchayat.
It's already been up.
It's been up and it's been
loved
down.
It. Yeah, fucking loved it. Yeah. What a TV show!
I can't wait for the third season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Whether that makes the channel, I don't know. It might
just have to be clinical and cut it down.
It might in the new sort of format. But just getting back to the film, John. In terms of running time, any issues with that?
No, I thought the running time was perfect, Steve. Now, I wouldn't have cut much out of this movie. If anything, there's maybe some aspects, but you could maybe trim a little bit here and there. But I think in the main, it's a reasonably complex story. You've got 2 timelines. You've got this guy almost living a false persona.
Yeah.
And his history comes back to bite him up the arse, and that requires a degree of...
It's funny, John.
Running time to make it work. Because
you said you wouldn't cut much. Obviously, looking at the bigger picture now in hindsight, it makes sense. But at the time, the first 10 minutes, I thought, what is this?
About the hyena
thing. I thought,
you could have maybe shaved that down.
Is this really just to show the sort of capabilities of Pataban? I don't know. And the relationship between Joshi, I think it was the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it all made sense.
It was almost to show where he was at in that town as well.
Yeah.
He was very capable and he was connected, but he was also kind of disconnected as well. People who knew him loved him, but the people who... I mean, he was still relatively under the shadows because the journalist tries to get him. You can't find him.
That's right, yeah.
So it's almost showing you the duology of the character.
It just sounded...
The first 10 minutes.
It kind of came across a bit weird that he was doing that and then 10 minutes later he was behind his little counter on his coffee shop. And I thought, why are these people not questioning this coffee shop owner on his capabilities with a javelin? And stuff like that. You know what I mean? I was like, why is nobody questioning this? It's a bit strange, but it all made sense. It all made sense in the end. But the coffee shop scene for me, and if we want to talk about standout moments, John, I thought the first coffee shop scene when the dark coffee, chocolate coffee. I thought that was incredible. That fight sequence.
How's he saying it again? Because someone said that chocolate coffee. I don't want to do any accents in case I get fined, but you almost have to because he's saying it with quite a thick accent.
Yeah.
Chocolate coffee. But someone spelled it CAWFEE, coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
Chocolate coffee. He just kept saying it. Chocolate coffee. What are you talking about? Is it a mocha? Is it a fucking chocochino?
I thought we were going to see those villains throughout the film. I didn't think they were going to be so disposable. Because they weren't the real villains. They weren't, you know.
Part of me was disappointed, though, that the blue-eyed guy with the tremendous head of fucking hair, by the way. There was one young guy that went to the football and still goes, but his hair's cut now. He is the only other individual that I've ever seen with hair that thick in my fucking entire life. The greatest head of hair I've ever seen, but an utterly despicable character that did deserve to get his comeuppance. But part of me was disappointed because they were quite, I don't know, they were arseholes but quite enjoyable at the same time. Yeah. And they're sort of... I don't know what you'd call it. It's not carefree,
were they working for
fucking destruction?
For Anthony Das? Or were they just separate? Because I thought that was who they were on the phone to.
No, I think they were completely separate. I just think it was that wave of destruction
just
and him
fodder,
getting taken to court, then his image appearing in the newspaper. That's what brought attention to Anthony and obviously Harold and their minions.
It served as a vehicle to carry his
But Stephen, the coffee shop scene was fucking brilliant. You talk about fight sequences. I love, and we spoke about this before with the likes of, off the top of my head, Monkey Man in the trailers. We've not seen the movie, but obviously Tenet as well.
Yep.
And I'm sure we've seen it before, where you're in an environment and there's lots of There's lots of
apparatus.
unfixed apparatus, be it plates and objects that you can use to
the table and the
fucking
throat.
hit people.
Yeah.
The sort of there was
Love
something
that.
else on the table where he bashed that guy's fucking mouth into it. He lost a couple of teeth. I love it when they utilise objects in an environment
Very
during
creative,
fight sequences.
Yeah.
And the way he was dancing through glass and under tables and utilising chairs and whatnot, really well worked scene. They get their comeuppance and he gets off scot-free, but Stephen, the moment he shoots them all was fucking brilliant. Just the way it was shot, tracking to the chamber of the gun, and he was shooting. It was just a perfect little action sequence.
Yeah, it's my favourite sequence. If we're talking about sequences, there was quite a few, John, but I think that's the one that stood out the most for me.
Yeah,
more so than the actual climatic one, which was good. But there's something about that coffee shop one. I like that. Like you said, John, you see it in John Wick. You see it. And that obviously that trailer for Monkey Man, just things like that, and Tenet, another reason, you know, it's in the kitchen. It's just using microwave doors and stuff, fridge doors. It's like bottom.
Ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. Where is it? Something along those lines. I can't remember the line. But
something it's just creative, and I like that when fighting. I don't know if that's what you call it. Fighting coordinators. I don't know what they're called.
Stunt
coordinators. Yeah,
but it was obviously choreographing. But it was just the tension prior to it. You knew that they knew outside the little chocolate coffee guy. Certainly the ringleader, the older, heavier guy, he was aware of Partiban Leo, whatever you want to call him. He's both. I'm going to go with Leo. He's Leo Das. Fuck that Partiban nonsense. He was aware as soon as he went into the coffee shop that this guy was for the watching. He wasn't taking his eyes off him. He clocked the way he was looking at that guy, and he knew this is fucking trouble. Let's get out of here. But that little guy just wasn't letting it go. And he said, we're on CCTV. If we go now, we'll be in prison within days. But that guy knew right away, and you could cut the tension with a knife. Yeah, it was good. It was just really well acted, and then it explodes into absolute violence. John, and there's fucking blood everywhere. It was brilliant.
You talk about tension and cutting the atmosphere with a knife. Now, the next scene I want to talk to you about, this could be a deal breaker in terms of how this is rated. The bigger picture, obviously, is, you know, that Thalapathy Vijay's Leo was that all along, and he was playing a long game. The scene with obviously
with the wife
Satya, I can't remember how you say her name.
Probably it's Satya.
And him at the bottom of the bed, as I mentioned, the daughter's sound asleep.
Daughter's the heaviest sleeper. Yeah, she's known to man. I thought I was a heavy sleeper. I
could sleep like that.
I've slept through at least 2 deaths in different streets I've lived in. Ambulances, people fucking crying. I've slept through it, but this fucking daughter. This
was an emotional scene, and it was a well acted scene between Thalapathy Vijay and Trisha
Some
Krishna.
of the best acting I've seen from Thalapathy.
It was fantastic, and I really felt for the character, that he felt the mistrust in his wife. And it turns out all along it was just an act. And I felt kind of robbed by that. I don't know about yourself.
No, because Stephen, I've justified it because I think he was genuinely disappointed that she mistrusted him. Whether she had a right to or not is neither here nor there. They had a conversation prior, and I think she said to him, "Look, forget all this nonsense with the police and whatnot. When I start to question you, then obviously that's when we've got a problem." Then she does it behind his back, and I
whether
think
she's right or wrong, it's not the point.
He is genuinely hurt by the fact that she's not been truthful to him, and she's off doing things, and he's looking after the good. I know. But
for the bigger picture, he was protecting his family.
He was. So I'm letting him away with that.
But at the time, I did think that. You know, at the time, it's only when the story marinades a bit better with you. We watched this film. I think we finished it on the Monday night, didn't we, John? This week. So we had Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to really think about this. And you've obviously been editing, so you get to see it again and again.
Only seen it one more time.
In terms of rewatchability, though, I mean, that's probably brings us to that.
I think it's got great rewatchability. I really do. I think this is a brilliant film. Stylistically, really, really good. The acting across the board is great. Visually, it's fucking brilliant. I've said stylistically already, but I'm letting myself away with that. Because you can say stylistically, it's the action, it's everything. Visually, it's just visuals.
Yeah.
I think it's got great rewatchability. I think it's a good story. It's a kind of semi-revenge story because he's going back and avenging his sister and perhaps his mother, taking down these guys. And those kind of movies have always got great rewatchability. So
what about
it has.
What about the musical sections of this? Do you think they're as memorable as Master?
Master was so good though, wasn't it? I think I've half coming. I think of Cootie Story. I still, to this day, know the words to Cootie Story.
Yeah.
Let me sing you a Cootie Story.
For me,
pay attention, listen to me.
For me, the musical sequences in this, ironically, it was the visuals more than anything that stood out more than the actual songs.
Very short Cundam Chilban and Abbey.
I thought the visuals in this film were a lot better than they were in those videos that you mentioned, John and Master.
Yeah.
For visuals, not sound.
Oh, I mean, the badass, he's a badass. Leo Das is a badass. That's very catchy.
Yeah.
And also the sequence, he's fucking destroying this copper and just beating the shit out of people left, right, and centre. I mean, that's a very memorable moment. I was thinking about it even today. So, yeah, I mean, it's clearly got memorable musical numbers. How it compares to Master, I don't know. I mean, Vaffy Cummins just fucking fantastic. When I think of Thalapathy, I think of Vaffy Cummins.
Yeah.
The JD character. Sort of drunken stupor, lying on that couch, sofa, whatever you want to call it. And I'm carrying him out, and then he starts dancing.
That was his introduction to the film, wasn't it?
That was our introduction to Thalapathy, Stephen.
That's why I was talking about his introduction in this film. I thought it was very subtle. It was quite downplayed in a way.
Where it was a fucking hyena, though.
What I mean is, he's sitting in the car, and the first scene we see him in is in the car, and it's his eyes, which it was enough for me. But it was very subtle.
Everyone's losing their shit in that town.
Yeah,
they're running about, they're hysterical, they're panicking. He's just sitting, chilled.
John, there was another thing you mentioned in terms of the hyena. The hyena and Leo Das as a character were kind of symbionts in terms of the...
Oh, yeah. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on that, but it does say early doors it's a spotted hyena. They're usually pack animals. If it's on its own, then it's obviously been separated from its pack, or it's, in a sense, a loner.
Yeah.
It's going to be violent, it's going to be scared. That's almost fucking him describing Leo Das. He's been part of a pack, the sort of Das family, this crime organisation. They have wronged him. He is now a loner. He's not scared, but he's out on his own, and he's definitely dangerous and violent. So it's almost describing Leo Das. I almost feel that's why he's got such a close bond with the Superman hyena character, because it's like the animalistic version of Leo.
Yeah, I thought it was a good observation, John.
I think the two of them are one and the same. Should watch for Ingenicam's Jailer. Coffee shop scene with only seconds to spare. The police are minutes away. You keep putting things in. Yeah, he's putting a lot of references in here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Did you know Leo was a remake of a David? We searched that up prior. Yeah. History of Violence. Hello, sorry for boring you. It's promotion, ignore that. A flashback of Leo Das could be fake, by the way. The director told in an interview that the guy who was narrating the flashback just told the story from his point of view. Yeah, we get that. I mean, we've seen that even with fucking Last Jedi. I don't even want to talk about The Last Jedi, but...
Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
Luke Skywalker, it was almost a mythological character, and what was being described of him standing up against the First Order and whatnot, it's almost like a fucking... Did he actually do it, or is it a myth? I mean, they spoke about that, Ryan Johnson. They wrote a book, sort of myth of fucking Luke Skywalker or whatnot. I can't remember the name. I didn't read it. But it's a similar thing, even with Joker.
Yeah.
The Todd Phillips movie. Yeah. How much of it's real?
Yeah,
you're seeing it from a sort of untrustworthy
source.
Narrator. They're telling the story and you don't know how fanciful it is. So, yeah, we kind of knew that. But look, it was great to look at. Seeing what he was doing as a younger guy, and I thought visually they nailed the look of Thalapathy. It looked like Thalapathy from 2010, maybe even 8.
Yeah, I mean,
like 15 years younger.
I know that they kind of aged him up a little bit when he was playing.
But he looked young, Stephen. He looked really young. He looked
well,
like
I think there was a photograph, wasn't there? And I thought that's from a previous film.
Yeah,
it looks like it's from a previous film from maybe 10 years ago. But then when you saw him when he was full Leo, you're thinking he looks younger. He does look more energetic, you know. And
I wasn't having that fucking the way he was running.
With the running, I mean, we picked up.
I've seen this guy dancing with fucking 3,000 people, and he is keeping up with people half his age. I'm just not having it. I've told you when I was watching. I'm like, no, he's fitter than me. This guy, comfortably fitter. I respect Joseph because I look at him when he's got his top off, and I think I've got the same. I've pretty much got the same build as him. I'm just fatter, and I need to lose the weight. But I can see myself almost when I'm looking at him at times, just the chest shape, the way that his shoulders are shaped. I'm like, he's fucking inspiring me to get back into doing exercising because I need to get into shape. He's not in the best, he's not a Salman Khan or fucking Amir Khan and Dangal, but it's natural, and I'm not doing them down.
Yeah.
But there's no way Amir Khan get into that shape in his 40s, 50s without doing testosterone or whatnot. Joseph's not doing that. He's a natural physique, and I mean, he's fucking a lot fitter than I am, so I wasn't having that.
There's some films we saw, John, particularly in Indian cinema, where the main character is actually jacked.
Yeah.
Recent films we've watched, Animal.
Yeah, I mean,
for a kick-off.
Yeah, I mean, he was quite chunky at times as well.
But muscular and six-pack. I've never really seen that in Thalapathy Vijay. But
even Bobby D, he wasn't completely lean. He had a bit of meat on his...
It's more believable when it's like that, though, because he's supposed to be... He's playing a regular guy for most party band, that is, for most of this film. So if he's going to be jacked and he's a coffee shop owner, it doesn't really add up, really.
You don't need to be anyway.
No.
Natural physique's absolutely fine. Hyena and he were extensions of each other. I thought that, I think the baby face never goes away for Vijay. No, I don't either.
No.
Shaves or trim or dyes the beard, he's golden.
I've said it before, John.
It helps when you've got a great head of hair as well.
This is not a derogatory sort of observation from me, but I think he's like the Indian Michael Bublé. He's got such a smooth face. He's so baby. And he's got these little cheeks, you know.
Bublé's great. We'll not slag Bublé. I mean, I used to slag Bublé, but he's now my favourite Christmas guy. So
yeah, he's a decent guy as well.
Yeah, I feel like him. A good Canadian as well, I think. So nothing wrong with that. Stephen was going to talk about technical, but I think we've kind of done it, to be fair. When I think about it, maybe
48
editing.
minutes in, we've kind of talked about editing as well, in terms of not much to cut.
No, so I think Philamine Raj done a great job there. Cinematography, Manoj, I'm going to butcher this, Paramahamsa, fucking incredible.
Yeah.
One of the standout things in this movie was the visuals and the shots were just brilliant. The drone shots, the way it really came together.
John, on a technical level,
enjoyable was that.
Yeah, and I don't mean this just for Indian cinema. I think cinema in general, this is one of the best technical films I've seen in a long time. A lot of thought going into the action sequences, the choreography, the visual effects, the cinematography as well. Some of the one-shots were really good.
At the end, when he's facing up against Harold, Leo, and he's kind of hanging on to this walkway, and he pulls himself up and does a flip or something, and the camera just pans to him and then comes back and he's kind of like posing. I was like, that's almost like fucking Bruce Lee. Shit, the way that they've captured that shot. Really impressive. Some of the visual stuff going on. Choice of camera shots and whatnot. So, a real standard.
Sometimes as well, John, and we've seen it in a lot of films where the sort of sound editing can be a bit weird. Particularly in fight sequences where someone's punching someone and it's a different sound altogether. This didn't have any issues with that in this film at all. And sometimes the soundtrack can come in at the wrong time and it can be something quite we
spoke about
bombastic.
That.
And I nearly said that wrong there again. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's not a beer, I just can't say that word.
I've got words I can't say as well, Steve. Edited.
There's a word the other day I couldn't say. I actually butchered it. But you know that way sometimes it builds up and then it's like, what was that for?
Yeah,
you know,
just like two guys
I just thought everything about this film technically from a sound perspective as well was just bang on.
Steve, we spoke about it before, obviously Ruth, when she was on the channel, sort of educated it as well about the North-South divide and the amount of money that the North has had over the last 30, 40 years or whatever, probably longer. They have always been the sort of jewel in the crown of Indian cinema. It's what people think of in the West when they think of Indian cinema. They think of Bollywood right away. There's ignorance about Collywood, Tollywood, all the different industries throughout the Indian subcontinent. The south of India, sort of Telugu and Tamil stuff in the main, has not had as big a budget as the northern Hindi, Bollywood stuff. And we've seen the progression over the last 20 years, going and watching these movies. Also, we've not been watching for 20 years. But we've watched a lot of movies from that region. And it's remarkable how fucking good these movies look now. I'm not saying they didn't look good back in the day, but they were nowhere near what a movie like this is. And even you think of, I'm thinking of, what was the one with Surya? Jai Bhim? Movies like that, they're on a par with Hollywood. There is no difference.
I think resolution's got a lot to do with it, John. I think in terms of the quality of camera and lens they're using these days, these films will be timeless. Whereas I know what you mean, John. We saw some really good films that have been filmed in the early 2000s and the late 90s, and they look dated because of the film quality. And that's nothing to do with the film's quality in terms of storytelling or acting, which have been superb.
We've talked about that as well, the storage.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were a little bit careless with the way they were storing. So even if you want to go back and restore it and bring it up to a higher standard, they've just not really looked after the film.
Yeah.
Great.
Whereas now I think they're preserved perfectly.
Yeah.
Films like Leo, films like Master, well, you'll be able to watch them in 10, 15, 20 years from now, and they'll look like they were filmed yesterday.
Yeah. And it's probably digital.
Yeah.
So,
That's that, yeah.
It's just that they're getting a lot more money now. There's a lot more people watching the content. I think before it was made for local people, and they weren't really thinking about international audiences. And now people from fucking Singapore, people from Australia, France, Britain, America, everywhere are watching content from all over India. And I keep trying to get it out there and spread the word about the TV shows and whatnot. As I said, I mentioned Sacred Games tonight because Nawazuddin Siddiqui, I'm pretty sure that's Sacred Games.
Yeah.
Just fucking love that guy. And I keep trying to spread the word about how good the content is, because people are already switched on about K-dramas and Korean stuff, and they completely ignore fucking Indian content. And there's some of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen.
They're missing out.
Are from India. Genuinely, some of the greatest stuff I've ever seen came from India. Scam 1992. Sacred Games. I keep bringing Sacred Games up because it's fucking great. Patal Lock.
Yeah.
There's just some brilliant TV shows. We've got a couple of comments. Boobly's my favourite Christmas guy too. April 22nd, Lokesh Kanagarage's next film title teaser will be out. Mockobot, I think that is, camera used in
that's
shooting.
Monday. We'll be here.
We will be here.
Yeah, so
we'll need to do that. Vikram is it's clear of Master and Leo in every way. I've not seen it, so I need to watch it and find out. But I did like the look of it.
Yeah.
And I think Vijay Thalapathy was a villain. I think I may have said that before tonight. I'm just repeating myself.
It is.
Yeah, Ranjanikam. Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend. Talk about personalities. That guy's got a huge amount. Stephen Acton, we spoke about it briefly, but of course it's a Thalapathy Vijay fucking show. He is the main man. He is a standout performer for me. I said it prior to this twice. I'm now saying it for the third time. This is one of the best performances I've seen from Joseph Vijay in a movie. Yeah. He's playing two variations of the one character. The physicality in it, of portraying an older and a younger man, you can see the dedication to it.
There's depth.
He's bought right into the role.
There's definitely depth.
Some emotive moments, some really big bombastic action sequences. There's dancing in there. It's a fucking sublime performance again from Joseph.
John, we've seen him
brilliant.
But we've seen him playing variations in other films of playing a brother or playing a father in the same film, and we've seen that sort of acting ability. But in this film, I thought there was more depth to his emotional range than I've seen in any of his films. I just think there was sequences in this film that will stand out because of his performance. The one at the end of the bed with Trisha Krishnan, the one in the factory at the very end,
the one in the flashback with his sister.
Yeah, I mean that's
where he's putting his necklace on her.
Yeah,
and obviously Harold takes it.
Yeah,
fucking scumbag.
A very good performance.
Yeah, so he's a standout for me. But you've got to, as we did say, put praise on Trisha. She has an important role in this movie.
Yeah,
seen her in a lot of things. 96 being the one that stands out. Fantastic actor. Again, charismatic in her own right.
Yeah,
she's not playing a huge role in this, but it's an important role and she does it well. Sanjay Dutt is just fucking great, man. He does what he does. I mean, the fighting sequence on the road with the cars and he's like, "Yeah, Leo, I know you are. Tell me you're Leo and I'll give you your son," and whatnot. The back and forth, it was almost like a game of, what do you call it? It's not parlay, but it's like the fighting back in the day where they trade insults and try and get blood. On a sort of vocal level and on a physical level, they were back and forth taking chips out of each other.
You mentioned Trisha's character there, Satya, or whatever you call it. She did remind me in terms of her importance in this film was the Rashmika Mandana character in Animal. Mm-hmm. Not a major part in terms of
the emotional linchpin,
but there at the right times. And there to
call him out.
Yeah,
when no one else would call out. I'm trying to think of his name now.
And you need a strong actor for
Animal.
that.
What was his name? The Ranbir character.
Ranbir. It was It was
Vijay Jr. Vijay Singh.
Ran Vijay Singh.
Ran Vijay Singh.
Yeah.
He was above everybody. I mean, he was a massive fucking personality, and people were just these sort of brothers, his cousins and whatnot. They were just completely powerless against him. They were almost sycophantic. She would call him out time and again and sort of poke the bear. So yeah, you're right. I mean, they're very important characters in their sort of specific stories, and I think he utilised her well. I was concerned at the start, but I think he did utilise her well, and in the end the balance was just right. It's Joseph Vijay, it's his movie, he's always going to be the star. But we spoke about it in Sarkar in particular. When you've not got a prominent sort of co-star or ensemble of stars around the main guy, there's only so much that a Thalapathy can do in his own. He can't carry an entire movie himself, he needs help. And that's what made Master so good for me. You had Vijay Sethupathi, you had other actors to act alongside. That little guy with the haircut, trimmed the beard, he was fucking great. I liked him. Forget his name. And in this, you've got Sanjay Dutt, you've got Arjun Sarja, you've got Trisha Krishnan, you've got other actors in there who are helping. Obviously, the little Napoleon guy, he was a character.
Yeah.
They're carrying the load with him and letting him just express himself. He's not having to worry about the whole fucking movie being on his back. He is able to just show what he can do because he's got great actors. Arjun Das.
Yeah. Who played Daz.
Yeah, he played Daz. He's got other great actors around him. So I thought the ensemble was very, very good. Harold Das guy, he was smarmy.
It's good though, yeah.
Good performance from Arjun Sarja.
Yeah.
I can't find the little Napoleon guy. And I don't want to be belittling him by saying little. I'm just saying that I can't find him.
Yeah. I know that, John, it's funny that because I did mention at the time, there's something about this character, there's more to him than meets the eye.
Yeah, I don't remember him because we've not seen Guy Fiennes for
because
years.
We've seen him, but we just didn't realise we had saw him. Yeah. I thought in terms of cast, it's a VJ show, but I thought it was a strong supporting cast as well.
Stephen, final thoughts in this movie, man.
And rating.
I mean, how can I surmise when I've already spoke glowingly
for the last hour, yeah.
Yes, I mean, I can't really repeat myself, but I'm going to anyway.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I love Thalapathy. I've watched a load of his movies now. I knew what I was getting when I went into this. Even the promotional stuff didn't really do this movie justice, though. I think the some of the stunts and the choreography and the fighting sequences, we didn't speak about the market stuff, where he's fucking cutting guys' fingers off and throwing axes and chasing after him. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
Right up there with one of the best Thalapathy movies I've seen. Really enjoyed it. I liked the acting performances from these co-stars. I liked the technical stuff. I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to give... I shouldn't be looking at this, but I want to just gauge with that. That's box. It's fucking better than that for me. They're tripping. 59,000 people, no less.
That's IMDb, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not having that. I'm giving this a fucking 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I really did. We watched Jawan. I think this is a better movie than Jawan. I really do.
Yeah.
And I think I gave that a 7.3 or something. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Really did.
In terms of...
to be brutally honest with you, I really did.
I think this is... I know it's billed as an action crime drama, but there's a psychology in this film as well, John. A very clever psychology in terms of the performance and the narrative. And when you get someone like Thalapathy Vijay in to play the main characters, I should say, it's going to take a very talented actor to pull that off in a believable way. And although it is his film and we did have a strong cast, I felt that obviously him being the standout, it a lot of baggage to carry. And I felt that, in terms of his acting in this film, it's the best acting I've seen from him. In terms of action, fantastic. You know what you're going to get with Kanagaraj as the director, the cinematography, choreography as well. It was fantastic. But it was, for me, this was a well-acted film from him and his supporting cast. Just, there was a lot of emotion in this film and you can connect with the characters, in particular the Patiban / Leo character. I thought was just a very believable character, someone that you could really relate to. Family man, on one side, and a vengeful character as well, who held a grudge for quite a long time. Yeah. And I just thought the payoff was the most important thing about this. They stuck the landing, because this film could have really flopped if the landing didn't succeed, and I think it did. And I was very satisfied with the film overall. Frenetic, you said, definitely. 2 hours, 40 minutes or whatever it was flew in because it was such an engaging story. Not just about action and guns and kicking people in the heads and chopping fingers off. Just everything about this. It was enjoyable overall. For me, again, John, I've got to replicate your rating. 8 out of 10 for me as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a very, very good movie. Also, I agree. I'd give it 8 out of 10. Yeah. I have to stress, though, I'm going to get this off my chest before we round this up. I seen a comment. May have been talking to you. I fucking can't remember. May have been me. Stop laughing. See, when we're laughing, we're not laughing at the actual content. I have to stress. We're quite, I mean, I can't speak for Stephen, but I'm quite a sadistic person when I'm watching movies. I love seeing people getting harmed violently if they deserve it. Yeah. Even more so. I laugh at people getting hurted and getting battered and kicked and assaulted and thrown off of things, and I get a great sort of pleasure out of watching that, and it manifests itself in laughing. Yeah. Because I love laughing at people's misfortune. Not even in films.
I don't know who it was directed at.
In shorts, YouTube shorts and whatnot, people tripping them. I fucking love it. I get a great kick out of it. So you mustn't take that personal when I'm laughing or Stephen's laughing. We're just doing it because we're enjoying it. And that's that's how we sort of manifest our enjoyment. Laughing. I remember Triple R, people taking offence at us laughing at the sort of animals coming out the truck and destroying all of the British troopers or soldiers. I love that. I love that shit. I love laughing at it.
I think it could probably be picked up wrong in terms of what are they laughing at the quality of the. It's not nothing to do with it, as you said, John. It's more about getting the enjoyment of seeing people getting their comeuppance that deserve it, and we get a kick out of that. It makes us laugh because that's just the type of people we are. Yeah. So it's nothing to do, but it's not a negative thing or anything like that.
And Yuki said loves the sister. She's I know Leo's sister's forgettable, but I love her. She's a good character. Yeah. Packed a punch in the time she was there. That's probably the one downside I'd say of this movie. If I was to really nitpick, they didn't bond enough with the sister. The sister was in the movie for about 5 minutes. Yeah. And then she's obviously killed, and you can't really.
It's just to give a reason, really, isn't it? It's a character.
But you can't really bond on an emotional level with a character.
You can sympathise with Leo. But apart from that, you're right, John. There wasn't enough time to spend with her not to care for her. Because I was like, don't tell me the father's going to kill his own daughter. That's ridiculous. But there wasn't enough time to really get emotionally attached to the character. I think we
spoke about that with Joanne as well, though, with the father on the farm. Obviously, it's tragic when someone commits suicide and they're doing it to save their family and give them financial security. That's terrible.
It's not the main point of the story, though. That's the thing.
You can't. It's an action movie with a very particular story to tell, and you can't be bogged down with that. Yeah. Whereas 12 Fail is an example where the whole movie is the characters and bonding with them and getting on a journey, and then at the end, when he comes through and passes, you are fucking visibly shooketh by the character coming to the end of his journey and succeeding. That is an example where it pays off, and that's the sort of reason d'etre to be all fancy pants.
Well, I finished my beer on my way home.
Yeah, I'm nearly done as well, Stephen. And we are done nonetheless, so I'm going to round it up. What is your thoughts on Leo? How would you rate Leo? Do you agree with us that it's the best, not the best, but one of the best Thalapathy Vijay acting performances to date? Thoughts on the ensemble, the technical stuff on a visual level, the score from Anirudh, the directing from Lokesh Kanagaraj. Incidentally, I never really gave him enough fucking credit. Guy consistently gets performances out of actors again and again and again. He seems to have a real bond with Thalapathy. We've seen that with Master. They had a great time behind the cameras. You see it again. Just a shame he's going and doing politics. I want him to stay acting, but that guy will be a fucking force to be reckoned with in politics. But I digress. What's your thoughts on Leo? Share it down below in the comments section. Maybe you'd rate the movie as well. Thoughts on our reactions and review, whatever you want to call it. All that's left to be said, though, is until next time, thank you to everyone that came in and commented. I haven't done the fucking subscribe to the channel. I haven't subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyes on YouTube for future content like this, beat reviews, watch-alongs, live shows, anything. Do the same thing over on Twitch. Follow button, notifications button over there to see us live on a completely different platform where you too can read fucking bots spamming to promote the channel. Follow us and like on Spotify podcast, the sort of podcast, for when we finally do get back and do a live show. Don't know when it will be, but We will, I'm sure, at some point. And that's the place to listen if you want to listen to audio content. If you're too cheap to pay for YouTube Premium, fuck knows it's so expensive. I don't blame you. I don't know why I'm still paying for it, but then I do. I digress. All that's left to be said is thank you to all the comments. Appreciate it. UKA, Roof, full shebang. Thank you. Even to the bot promoting on Twitch, I'll give them their due. Thank you for the comments, and until next time, me and Stephen are done.